this is Pearblossom pressed and Trinity stamps.
And it's that cool light of candle that blows out that we showed on our live, and we're going to show you again how it works. When you push the button, and it's lit up, and then all you have to do is, whoa, and it goes out! Hi, crafty friends. Yes, we are talking about a brand new product we have, and it is called the DIY Color Deck. And for anyone out there who's ever had a slump or a creative block or anything like that, this is going to be a great crafting tool. First of all, it's in this beautiful box, which is gorgeous. It almost feels like a little game or something. So then you pull open the little tab, and then you have all your color deck cards in here. There's 52. So you have the instruction card that tells you all about what's in it and how to use it. So check that out. And then you have all these really cool art inspiration cards. So you can see that right now they don't have color on the sides. There is a spot for 5 different color swatches. And if you went through and used some of our beautiful color wheel cardstock, maybe cardstock you already have in your stash, you could swatch markers, watercolors, colored pencils, nail polish, whatever you want. Any kind of color that inspires you, you can swatch on these cards. Now we love cardstock, so I did, for example, this card. I took my little 1-inch punch, which we also sell, of course, right there. Fits perfectly on here, and I picked out 5 colors that kind of spoke to me from this art inspiration. You would probably pick 5 different colors, which is a-okay. But these are the colors that kind of spoke to me, and now I can take this card over to my crafting space and say, you know what, I probably normally wouldn't have picked this color palette for my card. I normally probably wouldn't have put this dark navy in there, but I absolutely love it. So I could take this, create a beautiful project. I don't have to think about what color should I use, I don't know what to do. So I would just pick these 5 colors, play around with them. Maybe it's a floral, maybe it's a more geometric card, maybe it's whatever, you know, anything you want to use. But I know that this color palette works because the artist has already developed it. So it takes the guesswork out. So it's just a really fun tool. Again, like, check out some of these inspirations. Like, how pretty. We've got this girl, and in fact, you know what? Do we want to walk over to my poster? Because this card was made with one of the new Hero Arts projects. Let's go take a peek. Because look at the lovely browns and blues. Check it out. So Shannon made this card. Look at, she took this card. Lovely. Look at those colors. And then she made that beautiful, I hope there's not too much glare. She made this beautiful coffee-inspired card. Look at that. The browns, the peaches, the blues. Isn't that fun?
That is lovely.
That's so fun. So yes, that's just one example of how to use it.
Yay!
So much fun. So check out Color DIY Color Deck. Do it yourself.
On black cardstock, they're super colorful when you tilt it in the light, and on white cardstock they're beautiful because it doesn't look like much until you tilt it, and then it kind of packs a punch with all of that shine. It's incredible. So let me walk you through a couple different techniques on how to use solar spray on your projects. So I'm going to start off by going in with the black cardstock. This is Ranger's black cardstock. It's super smooth and got kind of a velvety finish, which is really nice. I'm going to go in with a stencil from my line called In Bloom. This is a layering stencil, so it has a bunch of different layers if you want to layer it up with like inks. Here, I'm just going to go in with one of the stencils. I always encourage, if you have layering stencils, you can just use one of the layers by itself, and that's a great way to use them. I always say this is where my exercise comes in. I'm going to burn a couple calories here. You have to make sure to shake these sprays up because they have a mica that kind of sits on the side. So it'll either sit on the side or the bottom depending on how you store them. But you want to shake that up because you don't want that to go into the sprayer and clog it. So again, I just get my little workout in here.
All right.
Right?
Go Simon!
I burned a lot of calories this weekend just shaking these sprays. So you want to just shake them up to make sure that everything's kind of mixed together in there. And then once it's all mixed, you're ready to go in and do your spraying. So whenever I spray on my project, I like to move the spray bottle as I go. It helps to get a nice clean spray and not get puddles of color that will seep underneath it. If you want a thicker layer, of course you could put more spray down on the surface, but to keep the spray bottle moving, it really helps to get a nice even coverage. And I'll just go in and spray a couple colors. So I went across my heart and I used Overheated, which is that orange. Then I used Golden Hour. Here I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Crocodile Tears. I had a lot of fun naming these. Then I'm going in with Beluga, and I'm gonna spray that down. So it's gonna get like a rainbow effect all the way across. And there is another color called Royal Flush, which I'll show in just a second. You can lift this guy right off and check that out. It doesn't even look like a ton until it's dry. I like to heat set it. You don't have to though, you could just let it dry. And once that's dry, the mica shine is really going to come to life, and it really gives you that incredible mica shine. And it's super cool because on black cardstock, like those colors really come to life and pop off the cardstock and give you that amazing shine and depth to it. So awesome. And then I like to take this too, and I'll spray this down just a little bit more to get a little bit more liquid on the surface. And then I like to take another piece of my black cardstock, since there's extra spray, and I'll just flip this over and place it right down on my surface. Now, I like to leave this down onto my cardstock and I let it dry on there. You don't want to do this with paste or anything like that because the paste is going to dry and really harden. This kind of still stays wet on the stencil because it's non-porous, and so I'll leave that to dry. If you pull it off too soon when you're using like a background like that, you're not going to get the impression that you want, but if you leave it on there, it gives you that really beautiful look. If you pull it off too soon, it'll kind of puddle all the color to one side and you don't want that. So I leave it on there and you get a beautiful look. Now with a background like this, let me show you how to create that. So I'm gonna go in here and use my brand new stamp. This one's called Typewriter. I love this because it's got kind of like a poem written throughout it. So if you want to, you can cut out different lines of the text. It's like kind of encouraging and a beautiful poem. You can use that for art journaling and things like that, which I think is awesome. Or you can pull out different words if you want to. But then also it's great because you can use it as a full background just for texture. And I think texture is super important for a background when you want to kind of build up the layers. So I'm gonna go in with some archival ink. Now to stamp this down and add the texture, I'm just gonna take the archival ink and just swipe it across the surface like this, instead of stamping it down to get a full coverage. This is gonna give me a less even coverage across the surface, and that's just what I want. So, but I like this stamp that it's not distressed, because you could use this as just regular font and maybe do heat embossing and keep it clean and simple. But I also love the opportunity that if you want to, you could give it that distressed look by swiping it across the stamp to get less color, and then it kind of skips out here and there, and it gives you a really beautiful texture in the background. But I love this stamp because it's like, there's so many words and nobody's gonna try to read it, but it just adds a great texture to your project. So then I'm gonna go in and just do a little bit of spraying. Now, it's your choice whether you want to spray through a stencil or just spray directly down onto the cardstock. I'm gonna spray right onto the cardstock, but you could spray like another pattern over top of this too, which would be really cool. And I'll just go in here and just spray a couple areas with color. I'll go in with a little bit of Cross My Heart, then I'll go in with a little bit of Royal Flush, and then I'll go in with a little bit of Golden Hour, and just spray this down in some of the open areas. Beautiful. And then I'll heat set this again to let it dry. It dries pretty quickly with the heat tool. I like this heat tool too, it's the Ranger heat tool. It disperses the heat a little bit more evenly. So instead of like an embossing tool where it's going to really blow kind of focused air on there, this is going to more evenly heat the surface. Now I do also want to point out that with Stark White cardstock, which is my cardstock from my line, the Stark White cardstock takes the ink a little bit differently. It's not coated, so it's really great for ink blending because you're gonna get like a really bold color. But when it comes to sprays, instead of giving you like a more mottled kind of watercolor look like this, the spray tends to seep into the cardstock right away. So it's gonna dry a lot quicker. That can be your benefit or your downfall. So if you want to, you can always use a different kind of cardstock, like a watercolor cardstock if you want to get that more mottled look. But this is cool because it gives you a more smooth, even coverage across the surface of that shine. It's not as mottled. And then also if you go in with a stencil on white cardstock and you spray that right through, it's gonna give you a cleaner line because it's seeping right into that instead of kind of seeping underneath the stencil. So it's either to your benefit or your downfall to use the Stark White cardstock, but I always encourage you when you get a new medium, test out different surfaces, find out what's gonna work for you or what you like the best, because that's gonna give you the best result then, and you kind of know then what cardstock to use. So then let me show you too how to do coloring. I stamped, oh here it is. I was gonna say I stamped something down beforehand and I lost it already. So I like to also use these for watercolors. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of, actually let's use a different color. Let me use a little purple. Let's go in with Royal Flush. Again, I'm gonna just shake it a little bit. When you're kind of in the middle of your project, you just wanna give it a little bit of a shake as you go in before with that next color. And then I'm gonna go in with some ink colors over here because we can't forget about our inks now. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Prom Queen, and then I'll go in with a little bit of Crown Me. And then I'll also go in, let's use some Shooting Star. and I'm just going to do some watercoloring. So then, instead of using water for this watercoloring, I'm gonna go right into that royal flush color and use that for watercolor. So it creates like a shimmery kind of effect then. I'm gonna go right onto my cardstock then and start blending this down. Gives that beautiful effect. Then I'll dip right into that pink color. And so the really interesting part about this is it should create mud, right? Because this is purple and this is and yellow, and purple and yellow will make mud. But because the mica inside of the spray is more of a solid and the ink is a liquid, it's not gonna mix together like normal colors would. And so you can totally use any sort of color shimmer that you want to on there. So if you want to do opposite, if you want to stay with the same color shimmer, that's up to you. But I'll show you once this is nice and dry, once we're done coloring it in, that it just gives the most beautiful effect for kind of a shimmery watercolor. So it's a brand new way to kind of use those two that you might not think of, but it gives such a great result in the end. I love it. So let me go in here, finish that watercolor, and then let me heat set this so you guys can see. The mica really comes to life once it's dry. So if you're working on your project and you don't really see it come through, try drying your project and it's gonna be beautiful in the end. So there we go. It's that floral now and it's got that beautiful purple shine all throughout it. So it gives you a really iridescent, shiny look to your colors. But I love it because when you're looking straight on, you don't really see that color at all, or you don't really see the mica at all, you just see the color. And so it gives such a beautiful shifting effect to it, which I really appreciate. I also love the solar spray too, if you're just creating like a card and a background. So let's see, like even with something like this where we've got a background already created, I've done some shimmer spray on this too, but you can also just like finish off a card project, which I've been doing a lot lately. And once that card project is done, but maybe you want a little something else to it, maybe it's a bunch of florals on your background, I like to go in with the solar spray and I'll just go in from a higher distance and spray it above the surface. Then I'll go in and heat set that. And this, it doesn't cover the color at all because it's still that translucent spray, but it gives you all that amazing shimmer and shine. So it's gonna give you kind of a different look, and then when you spray it from above, it gives you a finer mist all throughout. So it's a really beautiful look, doesn't affect the colors at all, so you can finish off a card project and spray just a little bit above, and it'll give you such a beautiful kind of shimmer to finish off your project. So sometimes you kind of wonder, you know, where should I stop? I kind of feel like this card needs a little bit more, so I've been doing that a lot lately too. If it's like florals in the background, and it makes them beautiful with that finish. So that's all about my brand new solar sprays, tons of ways to use them. And
You might remember last year I did a video showing their really unusual light up cards and how easy those are to make. And I mean easy. You can do it. I know you can, because I did it. And Julie did one. But here Amanda has something new, which this is what we're all about, is new at Creativation. So she wants to show this to us.
Well, hello again. So brand new this year is our Cardmaker's T-Square. This is specifically designed for card makers making A2 cards, and I don't have an A2 panel in front of me, but I'll show you here. We've got 4 1/4 inches with a 0 center. So for your portrait A2 card, those pink dots are thirds, so that is really easy if you're holding a sentiment, you want to line it up. You don't have to do any math, just line it up with the pink dots, you know, eyeball it. If you're working landscape, rotate your ruler here and it goes to 5.5. Again, 0 center, 2/3 dots right there to make it simple. And then an extra cool feature about this is that if you take your ruler, flip it upside down like this, now you've got a little jig here to line up a 3/8 inch border or a 1/2 inch border. So you can put your panel here and you'll have a perfect 1/2 inch border.
Game changer.
It's fun, right?
Pretty.
Yeah.
And it's so compact.
Yeah, it's a little bit smaller than your 6 inch.
And I think what's great about this is I'm working on video, and for me, you know, you guys are seeing straight down, but what I see looks like this. And it's so hard for me to line up my projects, which is why I always look crooked. So anyway, that is really cool.
With water once it's dry, can you lift it off as well? So
good question. I haven't tried that. I'll try it out. Let me see.
2 minutes water reactive, so
I like how they can all layer.
yeah, they're nice and still.
It's
Right.
because of the mica.
Yeah.
The mica layers.
Yeah, it's
So
Yeah,
pretty.
it really keeps the color nicely.
I love all things Simon Hurley.
I'm all things glitter, gold, shimmer, like all this
Yeah.
sparkly.
Same. It's so good. It's so good, right? So then I'll just heat set this to try it. And then we'll test out if it lifts off the surface too. Cool, that looks awesome.
It does look awesome.
Yeah, I never tried just pulling that little nozzle down a little, like, you just
Well,
gotta do
that's
it
why
like
I didn't even try it like that, because I didn't know if it was going to react the
Yeah.
same. And you don't know when you try to do it, are you going to spray way too much?
Right.
I hadn't practiced, and I had to get the projects done like right away.
Yeah.
So I went traditional way with this water.
Yeah, it's
But I
cool.
love it. I think
Gives you, like,
that actually
really
shows up
different little
so much
drips,
more.
right? And you can
I
really
wouldn't have
see-
to do the ink and everything underneath
Yeah.
the black. I could just go straight to black cardstock,
Right.
and it would turn out.
And you can really
That
see
is
like
so-
the little
Yeah, the
drips
little
all
ones.
throughout. Let's
But
see.
I love that you've got the big planets there, because that was a little harder to get done when I
Yeah.
was mixing it with the water.
Yeah. 100%.
I
Let
love
me
that
go
I'm
in.
here with Simon while he's experimenting.
Right?
Yay!
Let me go in with a little bit of this too.
Oh my God,
So you can
look
do
at
it
that.
through stencils.
Mary,
Over
this
top
is not
of-
live. This is recorded, but my friend Mary's gonna love that because purple is her color.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
look at that!
And then yeah, it almost like you could put like a little spaceship on the front and center and have these coming out from it. Cool. I like
Yes,
it.
I have Trinity Sam space stuff,
Right?
and I got all of his stuff too.
I have all of his stuff too, yeah.
I mean, I'm glad
Right?
that they're a little bit different, so you can play with all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was that Spellbinders one and the one with Ranger, so there's a lot of different, like,
Yeah.
I like that the Spellbinders, you have like bigger spaceships you could like work with and like
Yeah.
paper piece kind of together. And the Ranger ones are like these fun little animals in the space.
Yeah.
So that's fun because then it gives a different look. You
Yeah,
can
I
also
did
go
I did a
in-
card last week that has all the kitties on
Oh,
a back
yeah.
black on a galaxy background, and made sure that I colored around the edges for the dies so that you can't see it.
Nice.
So
They're so
cute.
cute, right?
So cute.
They're adorable. And I'm gonna go in and just spray this down now. So it's a little yellow. Let's do a little red. Alright.
Look at that! Look at! Oh my goodness!
I like how the layers that are on top of the splatter.
Right? Isn't it? It's cool.
I
But it
just
doesn't.
have
It doesn't
the
like cover them
Gina
really.
Wheel,
Which is so cool,
the
yeah.
stencil wheel. And one of them has got like all the dots doing the spiral that would go so good like that. And now I'm gonna have to try it. Yeah.
Definitely. That was fun. All right. And then let me go in. Let's see. Should I do paste? Let's do that too. I like to do.
We're getting to we're getting to hang out with Simon while he plays. No, not this is unscripted.
Very unscripted. All right.
I would have been here all day yesterday if I had been here all day yesterday.
Let's do silver lining. And I have a star stencil from Spellbinders called Starry Night. I
Yeah, I
believe.
think it's Starry Night.
And
I'm pretty sure I have that one too.
hey Janine, how are you? Oh, I like the little hand.
I need one.
Of course, of course.
Oh, I heard about Simon Hurley and shots. Was that what I heard?
No, never. There we go.
Oh my
and you know, I
goodness.
think
Look at this.
it does.
Okay.
I think it is lifting with liquid. I know someone asked that. Yeah. So I think it is.
Well, that just means you have
because it
you could
almost
do the
looks
water splatter.
translucent in between there where
Yeah.
where it kind of hit it.
But yeah.
It's like
Yeah, it means that you can do
Right?
a water splatter over the top to just do a different texture.
Right.
Awesome.
It gives you fun layers.
I just had
Yeah.
an idea. Water on one of the stamps like that to do a lift technique.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I don't know if it would pull off as much, but a stencil is going to give you the most lift because like an ink
And
react-
a stencil, you can get the better detail than trying to add something to one of the stamps.
Yeah, but like an ink will react. I always test to see if it's dry by just
If it's
touching it.
cold, it's not dry.
And it's probably the worst thing to do because in the middle, what if it like wasn't dry and I'm just, yeah.
Well, it was mostly dry.
All right, and then I'm gonna go in. Let's do this stencil. I love these polka dots too because they're good for layers. And I'm just gonna lay that down. I'm gonna go in with this.
I should have left my gimbal up. I should have. It's the transition that's good. Oh my goodness.
Nice.
And that's what's just with water.
Yep, so I just put water down. You do want to
God.
like rub it a little bit. It's not like an ink where it hits with the water and it's gonna like move and react.
Yes.
It's yeah, you kind of have to lift it off the surface if you want to do that, but that's cool.
That is
I
very
didn't think about that. Yeah. 'Cause now I'm like, that's so cool. I gotta do it again.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so fun. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of golden hour.
Okay.
Oh my
Guess
goodness.
what we're doing?
I know.
Guess what we're biting.
Look at that.
My list right now.
Oh my god. And this is going to be up on my YouTube channel, so if you want to see again what he did,
Okay.
it's going to be there. Oh my god. And I love the way that, look at that. And I
Yes,
have all this,
yep.
So
I
you
have
know
all,
how you've done all that.
I have all.
and you put the flower one on.
for the Artisprix.
Right.
I've been
Yep. You read my mind. You read my mind.
Christmas,
I'm gonna
which
go
I
in
spent
with
it all
the
on
In
finance and
Bloom.
stuff.
This is In Bloom. And I'm gonna go in, spray that through, so you can see that
Yeah, I've got-
it's starting to move.
I have most of the litter piece, a couple of them.
I'm gonna go in. You guys are getting all my test produce today.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's
I'm like bored of the same demo that I've been doing, so I'm like, all right, we're just gonna try things. Oh, that's fun. And then I'll go in. He said that, so that was just water through there, and you just wipe, and it comes off.
What paper are you using?
This is his paper.
This isn't my paper. Oh, the white is my cardstock. This is Distress or Ranger black
But-
cardstock.
This is the stuff Elizabeth talks about. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It is,
It's
look how
black.
black that is black.
It's really. It's a
She
cool
calls it black holes. She calls it a black hole cardstock.
Yeah.
Where she forgot she had it. She forgot where it was and she found it again and it's like, oh my god. Yeah. That is much blacker than the stuff that I'm trying to work my way through.
Then I'll go in. I'm gonna shift this. So it's a layering stencil with 3 different layers, but you can just use one layer and shift it if you want to and kind of move it around and play. I'm gonna go in with a different color. We're gonna use Cross My Heart. And I'll go in and just spray it down. Cool. And then when you tilt it, you'll see that red. It's
I
fun,
can see it
right?
from the side.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
All right.
Galaxy of stars.
And then you can even shift it a 3rd time.
Oh, that's a good problem. It is. It's a very good problem.
Like that. And then let's do like purple. Why not?
I can tell what they do. They use one stencil and then some of the colors. Yeah.
Fun. And so you get 2 different colors on top of the gold then, and then that lift. Super fun.
That is very cool.
Thank you for asking that, because I went to pull the color up, but I was like, oh, there's no way that mica's gonna come up. They're fun, right?
One thing I was curious about is whether or not the mica was going to be showing more on the stamped part because the stamped part was darker, because you can do it over dark inks and everything too.
Yeah.
And yes, so you can see the okay in front of the camera where you can't really see it, but you can see the shimmer of the colors when tilted in the light. But it shows up more on the dark, just like it would on dark cardstock.
And it just
Gorgeous.
gives a beautiful look. I colored this one in with the water and then
I s-
using the solar spray too.
Oh, yeah.
This is really fun. You can go in and do stamping foam with the
Purple,
spray.
yes.
So I like to go in. Yesterday I had a texture. Oh, let me do the paper towel. I was gonna say
That one's
yesterday-
always fun. Nobody expects
right?
that one.
Nobody expects it. And yesterday I had a shirt on that was textured, and so I would just stick it in my shirt. But not today. I'm not.
It would work with your sweater.
Right?
I'm like Steve
Otherwise it would be
Oh,
stinky.
I've never tried sequins, but
I haven't seen you yet this morning. Haven't seen you. I've seen her. I've seen Amanda 3 times, but I haven't seen you. So I had to come find you again this morning.
She's like, you're wearing the pink again, just like Amanda.
And check that out.
Yeah, you do. You know,
And we've got the long
I've seen Amanda 3 or 4 times.
And nobody
So
expects
good.
this.
We're back, but we had to come see Larissa because I hadn't seen her yet
Of
today.
course.
We're on our only once out of 12 from yesterday. I guess it's like,
You got around yesterday.
gonna go in.
What do you want? I can help.
You can lift what?
So how many days of the spray one?
Yes.
So this is my 7th, I think. 6 or 7, right around there. But I've been doing crafting since I was 12. So when
Okay, I've been lying. I've been telling people since he was 10.
Oh, big lie, big lie. Yeah, no, sometimes I will say 11 too, because I think it technically was 11, but I just, 12 is the age I've been sticking with. But I was crafting ever since I was even littler than that, because I would do like crochet and like, I would make paper beads and like make jewelry for my mom. I would crochet my own stuffed animals. So I'd make like little Pokemon. So I was doing it for years and years before I started card making, and then once I started card making, that kind of became.
It takes less time and you can get your creative project done quick.
Yeah, 100%.
Love that.
Lately I've been crocheting again though. I'm like, gotta
Are
have
you
a
doing
habit.
amigurumi or are you doing other stuff?
What'd you say?
Amigurumi or doing other stuff?
Other stuff. I made a hat,
Is that what it was?
and then I gave up. And now I haven't been doing it ever since. I was like, my fingers hurt so bad after that. I was like, I cannot be doing that anymore.
And it takes a lot longer.
Yeah, I'm like, a card I can finish in one night. This, I'm like, working for weeks on just one hat. Alright, so I'm gonna go in with the same kind of colors that are on top of it, and just go in and mist it. When you're misting the stamping foam, you just want to be kind of lighter with it. You don't want to mist a ton, otherwise it's just gonna become a watercoloring mess. And then,
Unless that's what you're going for.
yeah, unless that's what you're
Yeah.
going for. If a mess is what you're going for, then
But we want the texture.
you good.
Love the texture.
Exactly, you never know. And then there we go.
That is
Really
gorgeous.
pretty. I think you wouldn't think to usually use like a texture like paper towel because it's so thin, but little things like that, you get like every little tiny detail in it, which I think is so cool.
Gorgeous.
I need to keep bringing out, I always forget that I have stamping foam, and I'm like, I need to bring this out more because it's so
Yeah.
good. But yeah, check that out. It's like,
Love it.
you see all of that shine on the color and it's just beautiful. And then yeah, all you need to do to clean this up is spray it down. And then you'll go in and heat set it.
This was awesome. Thank
Of course,
you.
yeah, thank you
I'm
guys.
excited now.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I was excited already, but I'm even more excited.
Right? Those were, thank you. Thank you for asking that question too, that helped. That was great. Thanks.
I still have stone wall in my stamping foam from like 4 years ago. My in-laws have got a house in Austin that's it's where my husband's grandfather built it by hand. Stones out of the yard or whatever.
That's amazing. Is it like little stones? So then you
No,
get
it's like it's big, but it's got a really great texture, and I'm afraid I don't want. I'm gonna be back there again. I can make
Right.
another one, but you never want to take.
You don't want
want
to take it out, right?
I know it was awesome.
And also though, when you leave a texture in there for so long, sometimes it's
doesn't
harder
al-
to get out.
Yeah, it is.
So, like if I know
Which is
that
why
I'm
I
gonna
have
keep
so
one,
many
I'll
of
usually use
yours.
it. Right?
Yeah.
Same. And I got like Christmas ones in there that I'm like, okay, this is perfect. I'm keeping it forever. My little dog's paw print in one. So
3D embossing folders are fabulous.
yes, they are. They're so
Yeah.
good. I love my 3D embossing folders and Spellbinders are chef's kiss. They're my favorite.
Yeah.
They're my favorite when you want texture and
I still need to use that. I have it, but I haven't
Yes.
used that one yet. It's where okay, I got all the other things done. I just didn't do that one
it's
yet.
so fun, right?
and that
then,
one goes. I'm thinking 4th of July is coming up soon. That's
It
yeah.
looks like this one especially looks like a little firework.
Yep.
Let me go in and do some of this.
Just solar space stuff.
Yeah, do you want a video?
Well, I was going to put a little bit more if you have them there, maybe
I would
Yeah.
stay here forever, and he knows it. So
Yeah, 100%. Shannon, yeah, 1 minute. Once. I just want to show this because I think this will be fun. And then you can go in like with a different color mica spray. So I use prom queen. Then I'll go in with golden hour. I'm gonna spray this.
purple and gold is
That's
really
not
good
gonna
together
work.
too.
I'm gonna spray this over here. I was gonna spray it over the carpet because sometimes that's what I do at my house, and I was like, that's maybe not a good idea. Golden carpet. Usually I do like water, so I was like, oh, that'll be great. No. Okay. And then keep that.
So
That's pretty.
but they don't have Hurley.
Mm-hmm.
Just any dye.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, any dye ink works. And you want to be water reactive if you want the reactiveness. If you don't, it doesn't really matter then. But yeah, any dye ink will work.
And the solar spray doesn't react
Mine will just be better, but no, I'm kidding.
That's why I say that.
The solar spray doesn't react or change. I think it does react with the ink a little bit, and it'll also move it a little bit. So if you spray on top of like, let me show you next. But if you spray on top of an inked background, it lifts it a slight bit, but maybe not as much as a water would.
Okay. Yeah.
So it lightens it a little bit, but not too much, I feel like. But
That's
because
like
it
the
isn't
galaxies
liquid-
that I made because I did them on white cardstock with all the inking, like
Oh, you
the
did it on
tradition.
white?
I did it on white,
Okay.
and then I used distress ink, the black soot distress ink for the black part, and did the sprays on top of it. So
Oh,
you can
nice.
still see everything, but I think it wasn't quite as bold as
Yeah.
what you did with, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm definitely
on
going to be
black,
doing it like
it's
that. But then
crazy.
again, I told you I was mixing it with water to try to get more control of the splatter.
Yeah, so then it'll be less intense too if you water it down. But
But yeah, I did it over an ink background.
I didn't know you did. Yeah, that's cool. It gives a completely different look doing it over top of ink. I love these stamps. I could usually literally use them all day long. They're fun because like it could be fireworks, it could be anything kind of playful in the background. You could also stamp some as like little flowers and do like little stems for them. I also love this one because you can put like an image on top of it then and use this as like the focal point to
Or it
make
could be a
stand
sun.
out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's
Those
a lot
are
of different, it's kind of
all
abstract.
gorgeous. Yeah.
They're all great little shapes. All right, so can I do the inks then with the solar spray? Do you want to see that?
Yeah, just a happy mix.
Okay, sweet.
Do you want the white or the black?
Oh, the white. Thanks. Good to meet you.
Thank you.
Of course.
I will be getting another picture with you later.
Sounds
I will.
good.
I have to. And then Elizabeth can just say again how much she's so
You have to
jelly.
get it soon because I'm leaving right after this demo.
I figured. I mean,
So, yeah.
well, I came over here when I did because I saw the sign.
Hey everybody, let's see we're gonna cry again today. Thank you.
I had this idea to do something for you, and then I called Christy, and Christy called in her creative professionals, and they handmade this for you.
That's normal. That will go away.
Yes. It just makes it look cooler, right?
We'll pretend it's
So
a candle. Blow your
we
candle
love
out.
you so
Rick.
much, and we didn't want to
good.
give you like an object of art to put on your desk and take up space and collect clutter. And so I talked to some of your friends, and I'm like,
That
what
will
is
be
Rick
used
into?
more than anything else
And I
in
know
my
that you
house.
love to do Italian food, so it is engraved with a beautiful phrase that means eat well, laugh often, and love a lot in Italian. With some
All right, well,
olives.
I'm going to start with you, Christy, because you're the one doing the presentation. You guys are the absolute best.
It's better
Love
than
you
that.
all.
You're so special.
It's not
I wanted you
done.
to have something really lovely to take home, but it's not.
I
Wait,
know,
there's
it's not
more.
done. Okay.
You know me. There's always more.
Oh, there's always more.
More is more. So on the back, this is your yearbook, and we've got the Namta logo, and we have a nice little message for you, and then we are all going to sign it with these heat-activated scorch
Ah, I
markers.
love it. I
So
love it.
the
I
whole
love it. I
show
love it.
will
I
come
love it.
in and put their names on it, so like you don't have to show that part,
That's
but like
what
you
these
ever want
guys
to
got
look
it.
back,
Yep.
my name's right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
And you can actually use it to cook with.
Yeah, it's completely food safe, so charcuterie board, or you can hang it on the wall too. So,
In my kitchen, it will get used.
super. Well, enjoy.
Dig in, you guys. I haven't enjoyed it.
Here, why don't you put them in
This
here?
is out,
So,
Yeah, we can sign a few and then I'll walk you through.
So Evan is actually the creator of Scorch Marker. So if anyone
I
needs
was talking
tips,
with Evan
he's
earlier.
fascinating,
Yeah,
right?
you need to be
So
here.
if we need help with the signing and
That's-
making the pen work, careful with the tip of
flavor
this
would you
hat.
like?
it didn't feel like it
Oh
really
yeah,
came
it'll
out.
be here all day. I just wanted you here when Rick was here, but we can take our time signing.
That's perfect right there, like that.
Take time with that.
We'll start to change color a little bit. It's a little difficult with the finish that's on the wood.
Yeah, we might double.
Is that good right there?
Yeah, that's good. I would.
sign again. Like, can you
So
do
Yes.
does that burn it into the wood? There's a whole bunch of
So it's a heat-activated marker.
Should I do
and
over it
yes,
again?
when you
Yeah, go
write
over it
with
again.
the pen, and like
Yeah,
these
go
are a
over it
thicker
again.
pen, because it has a gel, and then you heat it with a heat gun, it wood burns it, and it's a permanent emblazoning.
It
And
really
you can
is.
get
Cool.
so
Touch the
precise.
wood and the
You
finish
should
is
follow
kind of-
Scorch
Yeah, and I
Marker,
feel the
and they have
texture
other
in the
I have to
too,
update
which
my Facebook.
like
It's
a
gonna be
Scorch
new.
gel
Yeah.
that you
It was
can
one of your
stencil on.
professional shots.
Precise and
Maybe it overheated.
Maybe I don't know.
Some of those
So we're
in the
Sunday.
manufacturing
It
stuff.
did do better.
There it
Thank you for
is.
advising me to do that, and now I have a little shadow there.
Yeah, the more the ink that's down there, the more
So
that it
when
can
it's all
burn.
done, guys, I have a finishing oil to go over it to make it totally food safe and permanent and washable. So yeah, make sure the lids get back on the pens. I have to get back to my booth. Thank you all for coming. And Rick,
Yay.
Thank you, everybody. You guys are fantastic.
Picture of you guys. Hi guys, I'm Christy Troxel and welcome to the Notions marketing booth here at Creativation in Seattle. I'm so excited today to be representing Lisa Horton Crafts, and I would love to show you some of the things that she's got new for 2025, including this Year in Bloom set of 12 embossing folders. These are absolutely stunning, high-end, high-caliber, sophisticated-looking designs, very detailed and super deep embossing. They are so polished. You get 12 in the box. There's one for each month of the year, and they're just absolutely dazzling. They work well with her interference inks, metallic inks, a variety of paper embellishments, including dazzle paste, neon paste, gilding, just stunning. Once you start playing, you're not coming out of the craft room. Okay, and I'm not sorry. I'm going to enable you even more. She also has come out with a new rainbow holographic paper that it's hitting me in all the cylinders, guys. Take a look at this pack. This is the Rainbow Satin Holographic. You get 24 sheets in 6 colorways, 4 sheets of each. Hold on to your hats. Here's what a sheet of it looks like in real life. Do you need to get your sunglasses? Here's another color. This is more of the deep blues. Yeah, the gas. It's
That's
absolutely
mermaid.
stunning.
That is
yes,
mermaid.
It's mermaid. It's fantasy. It's forest. It's fairies. Look at that one. It's more lavenders. We got our unicorn. We got our candy themes, right? And here, this one is like a pinky yellow sunset with hints of lavender. I am obsessed with these. But wait, there's more.
I knew you were going to say
Because
that.
when I run one of these through the machine on an embossing folder, it is absolute alchemy, and I'm going to show you right now. Would you, Debbie, like to pick a floral folder of your favorite? I'll tell you all of them. So there's a thistle. There's,
Okay.
you can take them. There's a crocus. We have violets. We have daffodils. We have tulips. We have peonies. We have foxgloves, those tall ones with the bells. Stunning. We have daisies. That one's really cute. Here's a dahlia. This one is a fuchsia, and I love this one because it's only at the top and it leaves the bottom smooth so that you can add a sentiment or add more design. You can also trim it down. This is the poppy design, and then this one for December is winter flowers, and it's got a very tiny Swiss dot pattern at the top and stunning flowers with holly and berries and pine at the bottom.
So there's several that I love, but let's start with that one.
The peonies. I love peonies, and this was a super duper choice. So I have some pieces of our rainbow satin. This is not Lisa Horton's previous holographic. If you think you've seen it, this is new. So let's run it through. I'll grab just a sheet that I've pre-cut. It's not the exact size of the folder. These folders are about 5 by 7, so they're slightly larger than your standard embossing folder. So I'm just going to, let's figure out if we want to emboss or deboss. We want to emboss this way. So it's so simple. There is no ink, there is no treatment on this paper. You just pop it into the embossing folder, and it would work with any embossing folder, but you know, these are the best. Put it under your plate. And let's just run it through the machine. Oh gosh, my machine is backwards. Let me flip this around, so sorry.
Can't tell you how many times I've done that.
Right? I set it up and I'm like, oh, that's not my,
And then I
that's
try
my
to lean
other
over,
hand.
it
That's
doesn't.
my other hand. Yeah, it would be a mess. I'd probably knock everything off the table. All right, so let's get this guy going through. I'm a little lower than, I'm sorry, I'm shaking. Earthquake. It's the paper. It's that good. It's shaking your world. All right, are you ready? Will you marry me? take
Oh, wow.
a look at the absolute fire that is that paper combined with that embossing folder.
That is
It
gorgeous.
is absolutely stunning. It's actually gas worthy.
Yeah.
And then you can use that in paper crafting. You could wrap this around wine bottles. You could put it on soap. Use it in place cards, party invitations, make cupcake toppers, die cut it. Just endless possibilities.
I'm also imagining that with blackout technique.
Absolutely, yes.
I've been loving
So
that
gorgeous.
lately, and that would be absolutely gorgeous.
So stunning. That's for you to keep. And then let me show you in the sample book some other things that I did with it, and another embossing folder, because I know you guys can't see the embossing folders when they're just in the white. So I've got a sample book to kind of show you what some of them look like in action. So again, there's the Rainbow Hollow, just 3 of the 6 colors. And you see how they're all a little different, but that shine is just unmatched. I've not seen that in any other brand with that level of absolute just glisten, glint, shine, and color variation. Now, I know we're not supposed to stencil on top of glossy paper, but I am not a good listener and I do what I want. And so I'm like, I'm gonna try it. If they tell me no, challenge accepted. So I used her metallic ink and I stenciled onto the hollow.
Tilt it up a little bit more. Because
So-
I can see it really good, but it was not showing. That is
So,
gorgeous.
Of course, the ink, it beat it up, and if you touched it, it would go everywhere. But I just gently pressed a little piece of card over it, transferred off some of the ink, watched it for a while. It was still slightly tacky. I pressed it one more time, and I got this gorgeous sheer metallic that is absolutely indelible now. It's permanently on there, so it looks like patterned paper, but like, I made that, y'all, and you can too. So here's a few other designs done with the stencil, embossed and debossed. Here's some of her new glitters. This one was really fun.
Oh, wow.
This is done on vintage sheet music, and all I did was run it through and ink the background and then ink the foreground, right? So this I inked right on the plate and ran it through. That's it. It's black ink. Nothing special. You could do this with old storybook or old patterned cardstock. Imagine this on like wedding cardstock with pretty patterns, and then this beautiful inked flower either in the foreground or background. It's really limitless. Someone dropped something. Don't worry about it. This was done on marbled paper, and then I took a brush and went into the indented, it's the recess, so it's not sticking out, it's actually recessed, and then just detail around the edges to highlight some of that detail. That's the daffodil. This is copy paper, and I just swiped it with the ink, embossed it, and then fussy cut around it myself. This is not a die cut, that is my own hand of scissors. Here, I use the inking on the background. So first I inked the paper purple, I embossed it, then I pulled it out, I embossed the background on the embossing pad, and then I ran it, I placed it in its exact place, which is easy to do because of the deep grooves. I just sort of clicked it back, ran it through again, and the entire background filled in with that pumpkin metallic ink. This is embossed and just run over with black ink.
That looks like Better Press. That last one looks like Better Press.
I mean, feel it. It is so deeply embossed. It is so high quality. It feels very professional, very finished, very polished. Here I went over it with, these are ink, and then I went over it with some iridescent watercolor. Just to, like,
It looks
highlight.
like watercolor. Yeah.
Isn't it
Okay.
beautiful? And you
Gorgeous.
can run watercolor paper through the embossing folders and then paint on it. Here, this is just picked up off the mat, 3 colors of ink. Here's another, that's that fuchsia design. I hope that's showing up on the camera well because it's very subtle in real life.
You can see
and then
that.
again here is the poppy folder, and I did the background with the ink, and then I hand painted in some of those teals just to give it like a little touch of more color. So as you can tell, I was in the craft room for days, and I put it all in this book because I want you to see how versatile these products are and how much fun you
you
can
have already helped me figure out how to use a junk journal.
Fantastic.
Because I don't do art journals, I don't do junk
no,
journals, but
just
that would be
save
fabulous.
your scraps and scrap them together. I mean, even the
because
cover.
you've got a lot of products,
it's
but if you just do
made.
stuff with one,
Swatch cards, right?
Yeah.
So in the front of the book, I have little swatches of her new glitters. This is the Ultra Sparkle Glitter Collection.
Is
You
this
get-
these?
No,
No,
this
not
is
these.
little
Oh, those are the
jars
glitters.
of glitter. You get like a little 1 or 2 ounce. They come all 4 in a pack, and you get all 4 of these. You can also mix these together to create your own unique colors, because this is basically your primary colors, right? But like, who put the fairies in this? Do you see all the other color that is hidden within it.
That makes me think dragon.
It's just so sparkly.
Oh my God.
And
The green
like,
makes
the
me
more
think
you
dragon.
look, the more colors you see. So
That
I'm
is
obsessed.
gorgeous.
Again, these are all just scraps of like practice runs I did. I just trimmed them up. It's all made with her products, every single bit of it. Then here are the new inks for this year, 2025 colors. This is kind of my table of contents, so you can see them all together. And then as you go through, each color is represented on its own page. Bear with me. So this is not colored paper. This is white cardstock. This is black cardstock with the same ink applied to it. And then you go through you see how different of an effect you get through these inks. So that's the first portion of the book, is you see all the inks. Then here, I have samples of every month of the embossing folders on white card, and you can also lift it and see the deboss side. And then of course, we got to those hollow samples and project samples.
That is fabulous.
So this is like really precious. It's a great sales aid if you have a retail store. Sit down and make it fun. I just added some silk sari strips and trims to it, but this book has been on and off my table like 100 times during the show because it's so fun to look through and just see what it is when it starts and then what you can do with it. So I hope that
I'm also thinking in the craft room, that is a great way to be able to see what you've got and how you used
Absolutely.
it.
Swatch your paints, swatch your watercolors, swatch all of your supplies, and then just open the book and like pick from the book before you go digging through the bins.
Love
right?
it.
'Cause, you know, I go around and I grab the whole bin, and pretty soon I'm living in chaos in my craft stash, and I'm feeling very hoarder. And
You guys
again,
know
I'm not
that
sorry.
that's me. You guys know that that is what happens to me every week, right?
That's the way. That's the crafter way. But you know, sometimes it gets overwhelming. So this is a great way to stay organized and also make choices without having to go pick everything out and hold it together. Like this really will make things more efficient for you.
Absolutely.
And maybe have some fun ways to see things that you didn't know went together, because it's all like that. You can kind of, oh gosh, now that it's not all in a box, you know, look at this and this. We can kind of hold them side by side, maybe make a different book of other products and be like, oh, I wonder if this would work with that. Last thing I want to talk to you guys about is the new Dazzle paste. Okay, this is a cool medium. Like, you probably know about embellishment mousse and stencil butters and things like that. So Dazzle pastes are new this year. They come in a jar just like this. This is a gel-based medium, and this is what they look like on paper, okay? But these are very quick drying because it's a gel base, and they clean up super easy. Some of them are more sheer, some of them are more opaque, but just look at the glimmer and the shimmer in the jar. You can apply this with a brush and burnish it into a stencil or blend it. You can blend colors together. You can brush on details onto pattern paper. You can spread it with a palette knife, sprinkle other things in it. It is just so much fun. And it dries in about 10 or 15 seconds if you do just the initial coat. So really popular. There are 10 colors. Here they are on white, and right here, let me show you how they look on black.
I was thinking they would have to do something different because of the interference ink kind of background she's got.
So here,
oh wow!
So I stenciled it over. First I put interference ink. Actually, sorry, this is Coastline. It's a metallic ink. So just one color. I put it on black card, and then I did the stencil of the raspberry Dazzle paste over it. And then as you see, I carried that Dazzle paste onto just the plain black card, and you see like a gradient. Within the Dazzle paste, when it dries, there's another color that almost comes out. It's like there's like a filter or a lens within it, and it looks very layered. And again, so polished, so professional. Lisa Horton has nailed the paper crafting game. Here are some more samples over interference ink. This is the spearmint color. This is sea foam. So you see this one's a little more colorful. This one's a little more sheer. I'm just obsessed, in case you can't tell. Can't stop talking about them. Here is more of it. This is the sea foam over the verdigris metallic ink that came out this year. Here's an example of it on white. This is raspberry versus bubblegum. You see that gradient. And here they are blended out. So, hope I've spent all your money. It was great seeing you, and you're welcome for the enabling. I hope you're having a great time watching Debbie walk around Creativation, and I'm so thankful that you came to see me. This was very fun.
I'm so glad I got to finally meet you. So.
Thank you.
All right, I'm Sara, and I am a blogger and creator at sarascreatestudio.com, and I am here with Artisprix, and I'm going to demo some Artisprix products.
Look at all the fun goodies.
We have markers, inks, paint, and stamp pads. Today we're using the inks. It's just a bigger bottle of the ink refills.
Yes, this is new, guys. You guys have seen me use, I don't even know if you've seen me use the refills at all yet, but the ink pads come with refills, or you can get refills. These are like twice, is this twice or 3 times the size?
Yeah, I think it's like, the other
Look
ones
how
are
big,
like
these are huge. Does anybody like painting with inks?
So I have a cool trick too, so I'll show you a cool trick with the paint, or the inks. So it's an empty water brush. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix a couple of colors together. So we'll do, pick 2 colors, red and maybe red and, well, there's already a purple, right? So what do we want to make? Let's do yellow.
Yellow's here.
Yellow's here. Here we go. Oh yeah. Yeah. So we'll make like an orangey yellow. So I'm going to put some.
So although there is an orange, you can make a different shade.
Yeah. Yeah, so in one water brush I have purple and pink, and then the other one I have a blue and a green, just to add a little bit more colors to your arsenal, right? Color mixing 101, right? So just be careful, don't make mud. So I'm going to put just...
Pull out your color wheel.
Yeah, pull out that color. So just a few drops, and then we're going to do orange. Yep. Take a little pipette to make it easy, because here, if you have a sink, that'll work too, but we're just going to add some water. They are all water-based. Put the lid back on, shade up, and then use it just like you would a water brush. Now you have this other color. So now it's a whole new color once it actually mixes. And then you'll just prime it. So what I do is I just get like a piece of paper, not the one I'm working on, and kind of just press it to prime it. And I have this color. So we are going to be doing a coaster. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trace it so I know I have a stamp that I'm going to place on it. So the reason we use pencil is it doesn't transfer when you heat press. And so I'm kind of do what I did here with this.
And for those that haven't done anything with Artisprix so far, what kind of paper are you using? Is it something special?
This is actually mixed media paper, and I'm only using it because I'm using water, right? So it's thicker, but you can use just regular copy paper. So no sublimation paper needed at all.
Or if you like doing ink blending and you're doing ink blending, you could use cardstock if that's what you like using. But copy paper is perfectly fine.
Inexpensive, works really well. So I'm basically just gonna scribble, right, with my water brush. I don't want to lay, since we are doing a demo, I don't want to lay too much water down because I don't want it to be too wet, or else it'll take too long to dry. So I just want swirly patterns. Do that, and then I'm gonna take just the orange, and I'm gonna put a little dollop over here so I have a stronger, darker color to kind of give it a little marbly. And I'm just going to use the same brush. I'm just not going to...
You're just deepening the color.
Deepening the color, right.
Cool.
So I kind of just go, ooh, that's really deep.
Celebrated 99 years.
I don't have a heat. You can use a heat gun to dry it, which I don't have over here.
That is booth number 307.
Thank you. Sorry, they were asking if I needed anything. Like randomly having conversations.
Everybody's helping everybody, guys. This is fun.
But I want this to dry just a little bit. I'm going to use this Seattle stamp. I'm going to ink it with the ink pad, but I'm not going to ink the word because, and if I do ink the word, I'll make sure it's outside of my area because it'll be backwards because sublimation is
backwards,
reverse, right? So, but if you don't wait for this to dry, what happens, I have an example that I folded up and put over here, is it'll bleed if it's too wet, right? So I didn't press this. When I pressed the stamp after I did the background, it was still too wet, and so the ink just spread out.
Because it's all water-based. It's just like when we're using our Simon Hurley. It'll blend together. Yeah, it reactivates.
It reactivates. So I am just kind of drying it off. It can hover, right? I don't want to get too close, but the heat helps.
Yeah. Which means that it's been fine, although I've done it without actually thinking about it, using my Ranger heat tool to heat mine to make sure it gets dry.
I do that too. Yeah.
I never asked, I just did it, but that's one of the things I thought, I wonder if this is actually what I'm supposed to do, because I know that the heat can make that transfer to whatever is beside it.
All right, so I think that's all right. Nothing's coming off. So I'm going to take the black ink, I'm going to take the blank stamp pad, and I'm just going to try and ink up everything but that Seattle word. And then I'm going to position it right there.
Fabulous.
So
look at that.
That, and then what we're going to do is we're going to tape the coaster poly-coated side down, right, into our little circle. We're going to use heat-resistant tape, and depending on your blank, you can use a lot. I would err on the side of more tape than less, right? You don't want it to move.
Yeah, guys, you know I make all the mistakes so you don't have to, so I have had my coaster shift.
Yeah, especially if you're using like a handheld press where you're holding it. You want to make sure you're using enough tape. You can
I did that at Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also use the tape, like if I had gotten the word Seattle in there, you can cover, you can use it as a masking. Yep, and cover it and press it, and it'll block off that section. So I put 4 pieces of tape on there. And then we're going to take protective paper. So the protective paper doesn't come in this box. It comes in a roll.
Like that.
This.
Yes.
This is just a aluminum foil thing
that you made to make it so it's easier. Fabulous. Yes.
Because it has the little.
Yeah, it has the teeth to make it so that you can rip it easier.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So now don't even need scissors, right? And then we're going to make our sublimation sandwich. Mine is more of a taco.
Mine's a taco.
Because I don't use 2 pieces.
I do the taco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fold it in half. And there you go, right?
As long as you have it on the top and the bottom, you're okay, guys.
Yep. When you put this under your press, you want to make sure the paper you painted on is on the top. Because you want the heat to go through the paper to the blank and not try to go through the blank to the paper.
That's another mistake I've made that I did not show on camera, guys.
So we are going to press this at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. And I am using a Craft Express heat press.
Because Vic is awesome.
This heat press has a vibration setting.
I remember that. I don't have one of those, but
Do
yes.
not use the vibration when you're doing this. It will cause ghosting.
That would be a neat technique to do, though, if you meant to do it.
Right, if you meant to do it. Yeah, so I'm basically just putting a little bit of pressure down. What happens is the ink turns into a gas, and then the gas binds to the polyester coating. So you want it to be sealed a little bit more than just setting it down, because you don't want that gas to escape out of the sides of your project, right? So there's about 20 seconds left. And then we will do what's called a peak test.
Yep.
And the peak test is a way for us to make sure that the transfer worked well without moving it, so that way if we need to, we could repress, right? Because it's going to be hard to reline up.
Yeah.
So there's my
kind of the same concept as using a Misty for stamping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except for the Misty keeps it in place, and yeah. So we're going to do a little peek test here. Check the corner where there's not tape, and I can see that it looks like it's doing good. So we're going to move the protective paper. It is very hot because it's
so that means be careful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous.
So
that is cool. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So cool. So cool.
That's cool.
Okay, you guys.
And my earrings? I've used the paint. I did a paint pour with my, and
I haven't gotten around to doing a paint pour. I still need to do the shaving cream thing. I haven't done that on anything.
I haven't done
yet.
the shaving cream.
I need to do
either.
that. So
But
there's
yeah,
lots
this
of
is a paint pour.
Basically anything you can do with paints for regular projects you can do and make a permanent project.
Yep. The only thing you have to think about with the paints is they bleed through each other, right? So if you're doing a paint pour, make sure you're getting complementary, colors. You don't want something that's going to make mud because,
Right.
And you want to do it so that way, there may be areas that are,
White.
kind of white.
Yep.
Yep.
So fabulous. Thank you so much,
You're
Sarah.
welcome.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hey, I'm Shannon with Glassboard Studio and want to tell you about some of our awesome products that we have. This is our most popular product. It's an 18-inch by 24-inch magnetic glass craft mat, and the white is by far our most popular color. But the coolest part is the metal backing, which creates a magnetic surface. So all of our accessories are very strong magnets.
Yes.
So you have an extra pair of hands to hold down all of your crafts. That's what you've always dreamed of.
Some of the folks that watch my channel have also seen the craft roulette one.
Oh, that one's pretty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So they see that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was fun to make for sure. So.
Do you have anything new that you want to share with us today?
Besides, the rulers are one of our newer products that we love. It comes in 6-inch and 12-inch.
Yeah, I hadn't seen anybody show that yet.
Yeah,
that's
and then
cool.
we have upped our number of colors to 13. So you can match any kind of theme you have. Yep, there's our pretty pink one. And then we also have these organizers that all come apart. They're modular. This is 2 all put together. So you can be the organized crafter you've always dreamed of.
Organization, what's that?
Yes. But we have so many different colors of mats. We do a craft mat of the month, so you can follow along. And when you see one you love, you just, buy another one. So there you go. That's the main.
Well, thank you so much.